Looking to transform your daily routine? The walking pad is a game changer for staying active while working or relaxing at home. I love its small size, sleek white design, and the accessory handrail that's so easy to take on and off. It's compact, quiet, and folds up to fit in a corner closet or even under your bed. Perfect for any space. It's also a great gift for anyone in the family, making it a thoughtful Christmas present that promotes health and wellness. Right now, you can get $20 off by visiting walkingpad.com/family savvy and using the code family_savvy, all caps. Don't miss their lowest price of the year. Take the first step toward a healthier lifestyle today. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the SavvyCast. This is Jamie, and I'm thrilled that you're joining today, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening to the podcast. If you're watching, you can see that there's four of us. So this is a fun episode. It will be a short episode.
It's a Saturday when we were working and loading trucks, so we're not dressed.
Yes. So who we have here today is
we're not nude. I said we're not dressed.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. So I'm here with my daughter, Ellie, who many of you have heard her before, Vulcan Nutrition, but she's here today as my daughter. And my son-in-law, Sean, you've been on the podcast for your physical therapy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You advised us on, as we grow older, things to do to stay functional.
Yep.
So y'all may have heard Sean. And then Zane. Zane's a fan favorite. So guys, we are doing this. I just asked them if they would jump on because we have a little announcement that's big to us, but
big to us too.
Would y'all like to tell what
Yes.
the announcement is?
Yes, Sean and I are gonna have our first child,
Which is our first grandchild. So
Yes.
we're so excited
So
because
excited.
Zane and I, we had this conversation. We're just going to share a few things. First of all, Ellie, tell us when the approximate due date.
June 11th, but I know most women go a little longer, if I believe, with their first child, so it could be probably a week after June 11th.
But it will be a June baby. So,
Baby. Yeah.
and we think that it's a boy, but we
think, but we're not sure. That was a very
It's like a $10 test. So
Very-
super
cheap Amazon test, so it might be a girl. But
okay.
we'll see.
I didn't even know there was an Amazon test you could take.
Because you're only 14 weeks, right?
Yeah, so well, almost 15 weeks. I'm out of the first trimester, which is when people typically are comfortable announcing. So yeah, so we just took that test for fun. So we'll officially know at our 20-week scan, 16-week scan at the end of December.
One thing that we'll say is because Ellie is a CrossFit athlete and a nutrition coach, she's very fit. I don't even know if we told y'all this. We saw you on Instagram. What was she doing?
Last
Dad and
week.
I, we
Dad
learned.
messaged me about it.
I messaged her.
I was gonna say, and he said, we can't say anything.
I was doing pull.
No,
I was
but
doing
I
pull-ups.
messaged
You're
her.
doing
I messaged
pull-ups.
her.
Okay, so you messaged her.
Dude,
We were like, what? But anyway, so Ellie, tell us why you can do 40 pull-ups when you're pregnant.
Well,
Oh, 50, okay. For other women listening who might be pregnant,
and
who
it's
are
not
athletes.
okay to do that.
Is that
as an
okay?
athlete.
one thing that I have learned, and the more I've talked to pelvic floor therapists and people who've been through this, is that every woman and every pregnancy is so different. I, for example, have a very short torso, so I've been showing a lot earlier than someone who's taller and has a long torso. So certain things might not bother them that bother me just because at 14 weeks I'm showing more. And so I've just learned a lot. Like with pull-ups, I have no issues, but I've taken out toes to bar where I'm doing a lot of flexion and extension of my core. So I think it's just what I've learned is you really know when something doesn't feel right. And even a burpee doesn't feel great to me, but pull-ups feel fine. So I just take out what doesn't feel good.
But isn't there like I told my Pilates teacher, and she's very fit. And she said, if you've been doing something.
Yes, that's the thing. They say
But you can do it up
That your
until
body
you
knows.
deliver. So I felt better. She said, Jamie, I promise, because she has 6 kids.
it would be very unwise if I had never done CrossFit
Right.
and I did that. So whatever you are doing, they say you can typically keep doing for a while. but you wouldn't want to just jump into CrossFit at 14 weeks pregnant. So,
Right, right.
and he would know a lot about that too, as a physical therapist.
It's different for every woman, but you can typically do similar things what you have been doing, but there are some definite recommendations, especially going into the third trimester, of what you should not do. But it's different for every woman leading up into the third trimester.
Mhm.
But in the third trimester, certain things like burpees, you wouldn't want to land on your stomach. It's the same common stuff. Like it's hard to sleep on your back when you're in your third trimester. You
Right.
can do things like that. The same recommendations would also apply to working out too.
Right, right. Well, Zane, tell us how you feel about being a grandfather.
Well, my
Or we don't know
personality-
what you're gonna be called.
Yeah, I don't know. My personality, y'all, I've been dreaming. I mean, I dreamed about this when I was young, having kids and then grandkids. So I'm elated. I'll be honest, this is a safe place. I'm always a little anxious until everything happens, but I'm elated. I think it's going to change our life. I'm just so excited and so grateful and praying every day. So I'm just elated. I'm curious to see what our rules are going to be.
Well, before that, what are y'all's names that y'all want?
Y'all, and I'm gonna put a poll out for you all to help me because I'm having more trouble than he is. We think we know what dad is.
I'm
What
very
is it?
open. I don't want to be Big Daddy and I don't want to be Granddaddy. I
Or
would like to
Peepaw.
be Paw. I want to be, I'm very open, but I'll be like Mr. Z.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, what about just Z? Z is so easy and I don't know, I think
I'm
that's-
open for whatever, as long as they say my name
Yeah.
first.
Well, and I've heard like they just say you might have an idea and then they say something totally different and you go with that,
Mhm.
I want Jamie to be Big Mama.
I think she's a granny.
Granny,
Oh, my goodness. No. We're gonna put
Grandma.
We're gonna put some possibilities out. It needs
What
to
are you thinking?
there's so many Dee Dee's, Gigi, Cece, Fifi, Mimi's. So, because my first name is with a J, I thought of JoJo, Gigi. I mean, there's Pee. I mean, I thought, no, not Pee, Fifi. Oh, that would be interesting.
What's that Mexican restaurant we love? Don Pipi.
Yeah.
Oh, Don Pepe. So anyway, we'll get something that's low on the totem pole, but we will.
I don't know what a baby can and cannot say. Like I don't know anything
Z
about
would be hard.
Yeah,
I feel
Z-
like
Oh,
C-
is
it?
Yeah.
It's gonna be C.
I mean, you don't have teeth.
Yeah.
See, I feel like you use your teeth a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I mean, it'll come out as it comes out and then y'all will.
Yeah.
Can't wait. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Will the baby cook with you think?
Oh, yes. The baby will cook. Well, we'll be busy.
Now,
We'll
what's gonna be
be
different-
going to the
What's gonna
store.
be different about your daughters that you never really let in the kitchen very much? You wanted to do everything versus
The
your
kitchen was always
grandbaby.
closed.
Kitchen, mom always said the kitchen's closed. She was, Jamie's got a control.
I know why.
element in the
I know
kitchen.
what it is.
Yeah, what's different?
I think it was efficiency. When you have kids running around,
Ah.
you have to
Oh my
pick people
goodness.
up from stuff. You have to like constantly be working and taking us to school, picking us up. You needed to just get the food done.
Not much time to play in the kitchen.
Right.
Well, I mean, there are moms who do it, but when you are on,
But you see Bobby Parrish with his daughter,
oh my
and
goodness,
she has
he's
her
next
little
level.
knives, and it's so slow.
Bobby Parrish is next level. Now,
Yeah.
he does homeschool. She does Khan Academy, I believe.
Oh,
So I
okay.
think she's homeschooled. So
Yeah,
I think he incorporates all that, which is great.
Yeah.
But
she's adorable.
she's adorable. But anyway, so little funny story. Zane's parents, we once took a Bible study class with these very strict Bible teachers about how children have had to be just so disciplined and
And we took copious notes. We were
we were
very,
the front
we
of the
thought
class.
it was like the
Popular
most important
stuff,
class
we were in
ever.
their
And it was.
And they said, grandparents cannot undercut you and that you've, whatever. So Zane's parents, I mean, there was always candy. They never had clothes on. They were in a tub naked with a
We
lollipop.
We drank bottles of Coke. It was like baby bottles filled
With
with
Coke.
Coca-Cola.
With
At
Coke.
night, at night.
At night. I mean, I thought they were gonna survive it. And they would scream for 30 minutes, leaving Montgomery to get up here screaming. It was partly sugar, but partly because real life was about to start. But anyway, so we made this long list of rules and they kept them for us all the time because we lived in well, but
They lived
partly
with
to-
us, right?
part of the time we lived in the same city. And we had all these rules and we were so serious about it and did we mail it to
You
them?
laminated
No,
them.
No.
Oh, wait, but did we laminate those
No,
rules?
we had a family meeting,
Mimi
because
said
I
y'all,
remember me and Paul T reading it in front of us going, okay.
she said y'all
wow.
laminated it and had it in a
Wow.
binder or a folder.
Oh, yeah, we did have it in a
old.
binder, one
Yeah.
copy here and one copy for them.
And we felt so good about everything. And then it was at
I actually
their
thought Paul T was gonna appreciate it. My dad's structured, he's very
preacher.
preacher, moral. I thought he was gonna really, respect the boundaries, basically.
And then we found out
They
at y'all's
laughed.
graduation party, which, so all of that time passed, y'all were toddlers when we wrote out the rules.
Until their high school graduation.
High school graduation. The highlight of that was your dad telling everyone, and he pulled those rules out and he read them.
Oh.
And he says, and guess what we did with those rules? He said, we stuck them in the drawer, shut it, and laughed our heads off. So.
This is all a premonition
Yeah,
of what's about to happen.
What are some,
Tell y'all rules.
what are some rules
I
y'all?
feel like
have?
that's a losing game. I feel like we can't, especially with Jamie, we can't give Jamie a set of rules. And she's gonna say, okay, how do I break this one and this one and this one and this one?
Jamie's personality, if y'all don't know, is a rule breaker.
Contrarian.
Yeah, a contrarian.
Yeah,
She loves everybody. She wants you to follow the rules, but.
I
she
think
is-
y'all are gonna be very aware, like, I mean,
Yeah.
we've talked
Oh,
about being
yeah.
scared to even have the baby on the track.
Oh,
We've talked
no,
about- so I think
yeah,
y'all
I
are
will be
really-
Mr. Safety Man.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is one thing, and
I'm
I will
safe.
say this, you may be a little safe. There's no one that is
Yeah.
more safety, like I'm probably to a fault.
Yeah.
I worry about everything, and with a child, I will not take my eyes off.
I mean, we've seen you with Tucker, so I
Yeah.
feel
I
like.
will, even with the job, I mean,
Yeah.
but I don't trust out like
Yeah.
the world, and I will not take, even things like when you are parked in a car, and this is good for anyone to know, if you don't ever leave a baby in a car,
Mhm.
even if you lock it, don't take your eyes off, because y'all, so many things can happen.
Yeah.
And,
Absolutely.
we know good people who had good intentions, who've had bad situations.
Yeah.
So safety is a big deal. Do y'all?
We're not worried about y'all at all. I really
No.
kind of think of the 80-20 rule that I tell people with nutrition. If we're feeding them healthy 80% of the time and, they're living in a really good environment at home, I feel like it's fun to go to the grandparents and have a little fun. And y'all are also healthy. It's not like y'all eat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Y'all, I mean, it's just fun though to have a little bit of a different environment. And also I think that's good for the kid because if they never have anything fun in their life,
Mhm.
they're gonna go
Right.
find it somewhere else. And so,
And you even say that in nutrition. I mean,
Yeah.
every once in a while you can have a donut.
yeah.
Cause
I
you
mean,
know I'm gonna stop at
Coca-Cola
donuts.
bottles is not ideal.
Yeah.
That's not what I would want with all the
Yeah.
caffeine.
A bottle with Coke at night.
Like,
I think Mimi thought of things
I know.
that she wanted you all to want, because they were just so good, but she was so fun.
But yeah, no, y'all are gonna be great grandparents. I'm really, really excited.
So
We
excited.
can't wait.
So, and Amy, your mom is going to be great.
Oh, yeah.
She's so fun.
Oh, yeah.
She's so fun.
She's so excited about this. She doesn't
Yeah.
know what we asked her today what she wanted to be called.
Yeah.
And she went straight to she went to grandma. Which I thought, wow,
Oh,
she doesn't really know yet, but she
Yeah.
went back, she's like,
I
she
love it.
reflected on it. And when she was a kid, everybody called their grandparents grandma and grandpa. That was
Yeah.
like the proper term for it for all of history.
Right.
So she's kind of okay being grandma.
That's.
But-
I love that.
Your mom is not a image keeper like I am probably.
Yeah.
Hey, and when I was growing up, my papa and mama, that is so good to me, but I think a part of it is my pride thinking,
You're
they
not
were-
old enough.
they
yet.
were pretty old, weren't
Yeah.
they? And back then, 60, we're 59. Back then, Jamie and I mean, that was pretty old. Because
Mhm.
people couldn't
It
take care of
was.
themselves and
Yeah.
as much, they were working, trying to make a living. My mama and papa were working hard, and out
Mhm.
there, and they didn't have some things like we have to stay in better shape and stuff. My papa, he probably never touched a weight, never thought about it, never thought about
But he worked.
exercise or anything. He worked,
Yeah.
right? So I think part of it is, I remember Papa and Mama being old, and I don't want to be perceived that way.
Mhm.
Zane and I don't know if I've ever shared this on the podcast, probably at some point, we struggled with 8 years of infertility.
Yeah.
So we did not have the twins until we were 35. Wait, we're 35 or
33.
33.
33.
33.
Yes, that's right, 33. So,
No, we got married at 22.
yeah, we got married at 22, but
Wow.
we were talking, and I know we don't look as old as maybe what some of our grandparents did. We wear sunscreen and do all
Yeah.
that, but we're going to be, y'all, when the child is 20, we're gonna be 80.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's
Crazy.
sad.
Yeah.
That's
Some of my
sad
friends
to
that had
us.
kids really early and had grandkids early,
They have
a
young
lot younger
grandparents.
than me right now, and they have 8 grandkids. So,
Mhm.
Yeah, that's interesting because I feel like y'all are a lot younger.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like we're and nowadays for the future, kids will y'all got married
Well, that's what
older.
it was for our grandparents.
Yeah,
were. When I was
yeah.
20, our grandparents were close to it. They weren't yet.
Yeah, but it's because we had y'all pretty
Oh,
late
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
So
people
it's
start
oh,
kids
yeah.
later
Yeah.
now.
Mhm.
but that's when you got to stay healthy and pray for God's grace that you can run around and move.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's part of our motivation, you know.
To
I
stay
mean, we
fit.
don't, she wants to stay fit, probably more motivation, but I think all the time I want to be able to play flag football and throw a
Mhm.
frisbee and still run really fast.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think for you, hopefully that's a motivation for you guys to be able to, like you said, play with the babies when you're older. I heard
Yeah.
a guy say this the other day. I was listening to a podcast and it really stuck out to me. But he said it wasn't until he had his first baby where he started being fearful of his own death for his
Mhm.
family.
That's right.
Like he,
Yeah.
all of a sudden, him dying, there was something at stake for his family, his wife, and his kid.
That's right.
So-
That's right.
Maybe his grandparents thinking about
That's
that.
right.
more.
And like, if y'all have a son, I want to be able to beat him in, maybe not one-on-one like I can beat Sean, but like.
Let's tell the one-on-one story. Let's talk about the one-on-one
I
story.
mean, so I might not be able to beat, but I'll beat him in horse, you know, but I don't know if I'll be able to beat him in one-on-one like I beat Sean.
Oh man,
Yeah.
so much lying happening on this podcast. Talk about-
Did you really beat it?
No,
Okay.
Sean's actually a pretty good basketball player.
Really?
That'd be cool if it is a boy to see how y'all are with a boy because y'all had all 3 girls.
Oh,
Rough.
That'd be
that's
cool.
gonna
I don't think
be,
you know how to be around a boy.
I don't know if Ellie knows how to be around.
Dad-
Yeah.
No,
I know how to be around
I'll be
boys.
happy to
Dad's
be
used to
there.
women.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
God's
feel
honor
free.
be with a boy.
Tucker doesn't count.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that'll be cool to see how y'all.
Yeah.
I get a lot of good food from.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, have y'all thought about names?
Honestly,
That's a hard thing.
Yeah.
Once we like officially know the gender, it will start thinking more.
Yeah.
We're very different on names. Sean's a lot more creative than I
The
am.
name to have a meaning,
I-
but
I like traditional names. Sean feels like the name has to have a meaning. And I
What's
just
an
kind of
our
like,
name?
I like names that are last names and they might not have a meaning, like Hampton. I love the name Hampton, but it doesn't
Oh,
mean anything.
that's a good one.
And so Sean really wants a deep meaning. So we might have to find the deep
hey, I
meaning.
like the name Hampton though. We agree.
Yeah, for like the
Well, have
middle.
y'all ever been to the Hampton Inn? Or
Yeah,
around?
the Hampton Inn.
No, the
I looked
Hamptons
up
are
the
what I
meaning
think
of it,
of.
Hampton
Oh,
Inn's
right.
homestead, so
Yeah.
it's.
But like that's just someone that we thought of. So it's just a good thing a middle name can always be something one of us is
Yeah.
happy with, and
Yeah.
like maybe they go by their first name. So.
Right, and
yeah.
names are important.
And
so-
family names are really. I would love a family name. I think that's important. But
Yep.
Mhm.
we'll be thinking about that more once we know in December the gender.
Just as we end, because y'all are both in the fitness world, how, like Ellie and Sean, how do you feel? Do you feel like you're gonna be overtly, or I mean, just very zeroed in on diet, exercise, so forth, or do you feel like you'll be really just balanced?
I love the way y'all did it with us. I think developed a love for fitness and nutrition because y'all weren't overbearing. Y'all just kind of practiced what you preached, and y'all aren't into fitness as I am, but it gave me the space to feel like I chose that.
Mhm.
And I worry about if I'm like, you have to work out with me all the time, or you have to eat this way. I worry if that would if they're anything like me, they might not want to go that route just because I'm pushing it.
Mhm.
And I find that when you just practice what you preach and you live it, there's a
Mhm.
lot more incentive for them to do the same, feeling like it was their choice.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah, but definitely they'll see me work out. Like we have a home gym, and
Mhm.
I'll work out in front of them and try to like incorporate them in, especially as they're kids. You can always get a kid to squat with you
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And I think a lot about the food that we're gonna feed our kids and try to keep it as real as possible. And so yeah, I hope that catches.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the kid is gonna do what we do,
That's
We're
right.
working out, they're gonna work out, if we're eating healthy, they're gonna eat healthy, they're not gonna know anything different. So
That's
they're just
right.
gonna- Whatever the parents do, the baby's gonna follow.
That's right, and they'll only know good whole food, so they won't be craving Coke in a bottle,
Amen.
whatever.
The only other thing I think would be valuable, because we're open books, we talked a little bit about how important for you two competition has been in your life. You being a college athlete, Sean, and what you did in high school and
Mhm.
college, and Ellie, you being an athlete and even a professional athlete. How do y'all view competition and sports when it relates to your job?
That's extremely important to me. I've always loved y'all's rule that y'all gave us, if you have to always play one sport, I don't care what it is, whether it's swim team, cross country, whatever, just play one sport, especially a team sport. I love that rule. And I just know that I developed so many amazing characteristics through being on a team, playing a sport, competition, always trying to better yourself, not really
Yeah.
through comparison, but trying to better yourself, because if you don't, everyone else around you is looking really good and like they work hard, and then you don't. So it's just a rising tide raises all ships type thing.
Mhm.
So I love sports and competition.
Yeah, so I think for them, if they have something to where they can aim to be the best at it, it's going to pull things out of them that otherwise they wouldn't have seen. I think sports is an excellent avenue for that, but it could be a lot of different avenues that are able to bring that out of them. But giving them an opportunity or an avenue to where, hopefully through the lens of humility, I want to go out, I want to be the best I can possibly be at this, and I want to be competitive and beat other people in this, because that's how you sharpen your tools. So I pray and I hope that they're seeing us, or they can develop that as they grow, all of our kids.
And I will say on that, we both have our own businesses, and I do think that if we hadn't played sports at a really high level, I don't think we would be as good. I'm not saying we're great business owners. I'm just saying we would definitely be worse if it weren't for sports and constantly trying to better ourselves, and knowing the competitive side of business is also the competitive.
I think sports brings out a level of survival in you. So if you're playing when things hit the fan, when you're forced to survive, sports do that. I'm trying to make my varsity team. I'm trying to make my college team. You're trying to survive. I had a friend in high school who he was literally trying to survive, had no parental support. He had to go figure out how to live on his own. And man, he has become a thriving individual, has multiple businesses, doing very well because his back was pushed to the wall. So sports gives us that ability without having the literal life threat behind it.
Yeah.
Is there any limit? The last thing, Jamie, sorry, I'm thinking
No,
of your
you're
podcast.
fine.
I've heard y'all talk about the negative aspects of this, positive, but is there a limit? Ellie, I heard the one sport at one time, but do you think?
I do want to say one thing about that.
Yeah.
I do think swim team bled into tennis. Did it not bleed into
Basketball.
Basketball. Yeah.
Well, but tennis, y'all were on the, I mean, at one point y'all were both doing it year round because you were on not the school, but what do you call it? UT.
Yeah, basketball bled into tennis.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what it was. That's what it
So
was.
we were not like, I mean,
That's
we had a
natural.
little leeway because y'all.
But I'm asking this because I see some people on 3 travel sports, 4 people.
Yeah.
I was at an event this week, guy had 4 kids and 2 of them are on travel teams, he and his wife. And there's a point that,
Yeah.
but I'm curious how y'all.
I
do
think
that.
on that context, I think the limit would be sports cannot dominate the family. Family's got to be first. You have to, your babies have to grow up knowing that my family is behind me and I am here for my family as well. And hopefully when they set off and have a family of their own, they have that same mentality and nothing takes over the family. That would be my limit on it. And then on the sports side of things, some of the best athletes who ever walked the face of the planet were generalists. Played multiple sports, and like Roger Federer didn't commit to being a tennis player until he's 19. Didn't
What?
commit to tennis being his one sport, so he's already graduated.
I didn't know
from
that.
high school. So there's some great examples of that, and just cultivating different aspects of your athleticism.
But then also being very serious, not dogmatic and legalistic, but church on Sunday will never miss.
I was
For
about to
Absolutely.
say that is.
sports. Yeah, and
Mhm.
y'all were great about that. And in college, that was always ringing in my head of, we don't miss church for sports or just convenient or whatever. And it's not fundamentalist, it's not legalistic.
No.
It's
not.
a
priority.
principle of priority.
Yes.
Of like,
Yeah.
and now that we're Catholic, which not to go too deep into that, it's like you don't miss church. You don't. And we have the option, the flexibility of going on Saturday or Sunday, but I think that models to a child too. Sport is so important, but it will never come before family and faith.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing that I'm so grateful that growing up, you and I both, I mean, it was just non-negotiable.
The way we were
And
raised.
y'all were raised Protestant, so we did it Protestant too. It was just a non-denominational, non-negotiable.
Yeah.
And we saw something shift because we lead young married couples smaller. When COVID happened and churches shut down and people
Dangerous.
started having online, the church has not recovered from that.
Mhm.
And church changed fundamentally, and that's probably one of the most devastating things that COVID did
Mhm.
to a lot of people who
Absolutely.
were not determined to keep that
Yeah.
going. So I'm so grateful
Mhm.
that y'all hold
I'm
that.
glad y'all taught us
Absolutely.
about that.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, it made a huge difference in my life.
Mhm.
So.
Well, all right. Well, thanks, guys.
Thanks.
We're so excited. Thank
Thank
you
y'all.
all for watching and listening. And we
Yeah.
will come back on when we have the baby and we've got
We'll have the
Oh,
baby
yeah,
right
we'll
here.
do
we'll have the baby right here. Anyway, thank you all so much. And until next time, you have a fabulous rest of your day. Hi, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the SavvyCast. If you'll take the time to rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes, that would mean so much. As always, thank you for listening and have a blessed day.